Hey guys, Pan TheOrganizer here. So today we're taking care of this Volvo XC60 Recharge plug-in hybrid. As you can tell, there are a lot of scratches and swirls and even some slight oxidation in places in the paintwork. Black is amazing when it's fully detailed, but not that great when you see all the defects. So look at that, even the B-pillars, they're completely swirled and scratched up. So in this video, I'm going to show you all the steps from beginning to the end on how we're going to fully detail from the wash, the chemical decon, the clay bar stage, machine polishing, and the application of a ceramic coating. All the links to the products used in the video will be placed in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So we're going to first start with a pre-wash stage using a snow foam. In this case, I decided to use Built Hamber Auto Foam at a 5% PIR ratio. So this is a higher alkaline snow foam. So it's a pH of 13. And we're using it to strip any cheap wax or sealant that was applied by the dealership. They didn't do a good job prepping this vehicle. I mean, obviously it has been transported through truck, train, ship. A bunch of all that stuff stayed at a parking lot at the shipping docks for a while. Same thing at the car dealership. So it wasn't exposed to brake dust, rail dust, industrial fallout, so on and so forth. Poor washing and drying techniques at the dealership itself, and probably a bit of spot corrections done while it was being built. So yeah, a lot needs to be done. You're going to see in the end the results are absolutely stunning. So the Built Hamber is one of the stronger snow foams. It's one that has cleaning potential. I have a video on that on my channel if you want to see what a pH neutral snow foam versus a pH 12 or 13 snow foam can do. So we're going to help to remove loose dirt and debris before we do the contact wash, minimizing chances of scratches or swirls. Next, we're going to address the wheels and tires. For the tires, I used Wise Guy by Shine Supply, very good tire degreaser. Also, we're cleaning the wheels with an assortment of barrel brushes, face brushes. We're addressing the lug nuts, of course, the center cap, and also the brake calipers. These wheels are a satin finish, so it's not fully matte. Very nice, 22 inches on this vehicle. Pretty amazing with the air suspension. Next, we're using Geon Wet Coat, a spray-on rinse-off sealant. It's going to make future cleanings a lot easier. Now, for the contact wash, I'm using CarPro D-Scale, roughly 5 ounces in 4 gallons of water, foam it up with the pressure washer. So what D-Scale does, it's slightly acidic, so it's going to help to remove any water spots that you guys saw at the beginning that were in the clear coats. You got to address those quickly if you don't want the water spots to start etching through the clear coat. And also, it's also going to help to further break down any older waxes or sealants. We want to make sure we have a virgin clear coat before we apply the ceramic coating. Always work in the shade, never in direct sunlight and on a hot surface. So you want to work in the shade or in a garage like I do on a cool surface. I work at 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius with a controlled 40 to 45% humidity. So I work in the standard Pan TheOrganizer wash method, which means working from the top and then keeping the bottom for last because that's the dirtiest parts of the vehicle. I'm flipping my mitt often between panels, as you can see on screen. And of course, I like to use the 2-bucket wash method. So 1 bucket for the wash solution and another separate bucket just to rinse the mitt in between panels. That way, again, you're minimizing chances of swirls and scratches. We can already tell the panels are quite flat at this point, so we're removing any previous cheap protection. Next, these little dots that are placed on the tires when they're balancing the wheels. Simple, I use Citral 266, a powerful citrus-based degreaser, and a little elbow grease with a microfiber towel, and boom, it's gone. So it's attention to details, guys, when you work on customer vehicles or on your own vehicle. Next, I'm using P&S Iron Buster. This is an iron remover to remove any rail dust or brake dust, so those iron particles that get embedded in the clear coat. And those are the tiny rust specks that you eventually see on lighter colored cars. So that's the iron particles that are in contact with oxygen and water. They start rusting, so they're rust spots. You have them on all colored cars. It's just more obvious on the lighter colored cars. So it goes on clear and then it changes to a purple tint. When it reacts, you flush and rinse away. In this case, I kept the iron remover on the surface because I also decided to clay, especially the hood. You only clay a vehicle if it needs it. So feel the paint. If you feel any grit or texture, there's likely embedded contaminants. So in this case, the hood was filled with them. It had that gritty texture or sandpaper-like texture. So sprayed some Geon clay lube, diluted 1 to 10. I used the Rag Company scrub pad. So that is a gentle synthetic clay. It won't mar the surface in this case. Tons of lubrication. Then we rinsed everything off. To dry, I used my Ego 650 CFM blower with a Apex Air stubby nozzle, so that's shorter nozzle, and a blower band tip. It's that rubber green part. That way it protects the tip. If you accidentally hit your paint, it's not going to scratch the paintwork. And using a blower just makes everything so much more efficient. As you can tell, the water just flies off the vehicle, and you dry the car in a matter of minutes with little to no effort. It's also practical to get into those nooks and crannies and the grills and intricate spots. Make sure you wear ear protection when using that. Next, I wanted to do a test section to see what the polish would do. As you can tell, we taped this 2x2 section off, and there's tons of squirrels and even some deeper scratches, as you can see here. So we weren't going for a two-stage paint correction because that wasn't included in the package, but we're doing a paint enhancement in this case using Oberk Sol. So this is a medium polish with the Oberk yellow medium polishing pad, and this is great, especially for new vehicles or when you're doing bulk vehicles for a car dealership, for example, and you want to get the job knocked out pretty quickly. So up and down, left and right, up and down again. So a pass there to see what kind of correction we're getting. You're going to notice a significant improvement in the depth, in the clarity, in the metal flake that's also going to pop. We removed the majority of the light swirls and scratches, and only the deeper ones were there, and you can see them with the inspection light if you were looking really closely, but from a distance, not really. I'm using an IPA spray here, a paint panel prep from Duraslick, to make sure we're removing any fillers or oils so we can see the true correction. And as you can tell, look at that difference. Pretty much all the swirls are gone. Just the heavy deep scratches are still present a bit. They're very faint, so that would go away if we'd do a two-stage paint correction. So always address have a conversation with your customers if you're doing this professionally. But if you look before, look at here, all the swirls, all the scratches, some watermarks as well, water spots, and look at now, that metal flake just pops. We get tons of clarity. So I knew that this one stage would work perfectly for the desired outcome and the customer's budget, obviously. So I decided to polish the entire vehicle using that, again, Oberk polish and the Oberk yellow polishing pad. The fluctuation here, we had a power outage. Thank God I had installed a new generator for the home, so it kicked on after a few seconds and I could continue my work. So that was a life changer and a life saver. I really like the generator. I live in a wooded area, and with a lot of trees and all that stuff. So living in nature, well, it comes with its challenges for power sometimes, right? Here I sprayed more of that IPA to remove any polishing oils to prep the paint for the ceramic coating, and I decided to attack the B-pillars. Look at how swirled up these are. If you have gloss black pillars, you know how easy they seem to scratch up, right? You barely breathe on them and they're already swirled up. So using a yellow foam polishing pad and the Oberk polish. So the one step, once again, very light duty. You don't have to do too much. The purpose here also, we want to preserve clear coat as much on the B-pillars as are the paint, and on the paint as well. This is a new vehicle, so we don't want to go too deep and remove too much clear coat. Paints are getting thinner and thinner on modern vehicles, guys. So have the conversation with your customer. What are their expectations? Or if you're doing it for yourself, what is your expectations for the result? But to look at that, you can already tell we really clarified that. Again, I'm using the IPA solution or panel prep spray to remove any polishing oils, and you can tell the swirls are pretty much gone from a one step. We could further refine if it was included in the package with a two-step, but I mean, this is good enough. I mean, normally, see, when you step back, this is how you'd look at the vehicle. It seems almost perfect. So now the gloss was restored, and we're going to protect all of that with the ceramic coating. In this case, we're using a professional grade coating from Duraslick. It's called HG Extreme for Holy Grail. So we're priming the pad. I'll always apply a few more drops at the beginning to make sure the pad is properly primed. We're using a microfiber applicator in this case. So in a crosshatch pattern, up and down and left to right, you apply the coating. After a few seconds, 30 seconds to a minute roughly, you're going to see it's going to haze, as you can tell on camera, kind of like when you're waxing your vehicle. It does does this white haze. So you take your first microfiber towel, in this case the Rag Company Pearl Weave towel. For the initial wipe, you're leveling the coating at this point to make sure you're not getting any high spots, and then you take your second clean and dry microfiber towel for a streak-free finish. You're buffing the coating at this point. And this is the Rag Company Eagle Edgeless 350 towel. I'm using my inspection light from ScanGrip to make sure I'm not seeing any high spots, and you address those as you go. So on and so forth. I coated the entire vehicle, including the plastic trim, the B-pillars, and also the mud guards that were on the vehicle. This is a professional grade coating once again, but my viewers can purchase it for a limited time. Duraslick offers that to the Pan TheOrganizer viewers. Links in the description for everything, by the way. And so yeah, it's a coating that has a 5-year durability claim. Its strong point is not only durability and chemical resistance, but also the awesome gloss and the slickness. The slickness is crazy. It's off the chains. The customer really was amazed by the results. We're going to clean the glass using a glass microfiber towel, so low pile and no linting, which is crucial. And we're using the Koshemi glass cleaner in this case. It works super well. Always lower your windows to do that upper trim, pinch the window, and get to all the details. Customers see everything. On the tires now, I'm applying CarPro Dark Side, a tire sealant. It's going to give you anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks of durability depending on your conditions. So it lasts longer than traditional water-based dressings, and the finish is awesome. It's a good blend between not too oily or greasy looking and not too matte either. And here are the end results. Look at that. It looks stunning. So from the wheels, from the tires, the wheel wells, the nooks and crannies, everything was addressed. We ceramic coated the headlights, tail lights to protect those as well. And the paint correction, I say we'd achieved roughly 85 to 90% correction, which is more than reasonable for a one-step. And this was the desired package from the customer, so a full new vehicle prep. And in this case, also because we're only doing a one-step, we're not digging too deep into the clear coat, so we're preserving it as much as possible. But I mean, look at that, the reflection, it looks stunning. You can shave yourself off these panels. Look at all the depth, the gloss, the clarity. In person, by the way, it looks even crazier, guys. So yeah, once again, the owner was stoked with the results. Of course, we addressed the interior as well. You're going to see some shots of that later on. Let the paintwork cure for 24 hours before exposing the vehicle to any water or rain, and wait 7 to 14 days before you wash your car. I always say go the extra mile. Wait those 2 full weeks before you wash your car, and if you can, let it bake in the hot sun from time to time. On a few days, that really helps the coating to accelerate its curing, because coatings, although on the first 24 hours, that's the crucial point to not expose to water or rain, they continue curing for weeks after. So the gloss is going to continue to increase as time goes by. And once again, look at that. Isn't that a mirror effect? Wow. What do you guys think? Drop a comment in the comment section. If you tried the Duraslick Holy Grail coating as well, let me know your impressions. It so far is one of my favorite professional grade coatings. The interior as well, a nice blend of a dark exterior with a lighter interior. So we cleaned and protected the leather with a leather coating. We also, of course, cleaned all the trim, all the nav screens, all the plastic bits and pieces, the gloss black trim, the pedals, you name it. We applied a fabric protectant on the carpeted floors. So CarPro Fabric 2.0, and yeah, it's just stunning. Again, I remind you that I'll leave links to all the products in the description under the video. And in the meantime, guys, well, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.